Y'all, our spring planting has begun, and this is what spring planting looks like in Southwest Ohio. It's going to be garden art, y'all. Garden art. We got the purples, and then we got the greens, and we got many different things, but we need to make it pretty too. Y'all, we're in the garden again, and we are going to work on some very unique brassicas today. We're going to have some fun with some burgundies and some reds, in addition to traditional brassicas. You got your broccolis, you got your cabbage, and I believe I got some cauliflower too. Y'all, it's time for us to get these brassicas in the ground. They've been outside hardening off now for about forever. It's been at least 3 weeks or more. I was supposed to be out here last weekend, didn't get to it, or the weekend before. I don't know. All the weekends are running together at this point in time. But we are going to put those in the ground today in this 11-inch metal raised bed. That's the plan. And I got some really unique things that I'm going to be growing this year that I've never grown before, and I'm super, super excited about them. And it looks like most of them survived, not all, but most did survive. And that's what we're going to work on today. As far as what we're putting in the ground, y'all, I am putting this, the Alicio or something like that. Cabbage is right there. Beautiful cabbage. Never grown it before. Let's see if my cabbage looks as good as that picture on the screen right there. We are also going to grow a red rhubarb Brussels sprout. Red rhubarb. There it is, the picture of it. Again, another one I've never grown before, but we're going to put that over here in this bed. And some of these are looking worse for wears, but y'all, hopefully when I give them a new place to live, they'll get happy again. We are also going to grow a purple of Sicily. Now that's a cauliflower. So y'all, I've already said I'm going to do a purple or a purple cabbage. I've already talked about a red or purplish color Brussels sprout. And now I got a purple cauliflower to go with it. Do you see the theme? You see what I'm trying to do here, right? And then I have something called purple sprouting broccoli. Purple sprouting broccoli. And these are the ones that didn't make it, y'all. They looking pretty sad. I think they got a little too much water. They kind of drowned it in all the water. They drowned in all the water that we had, y'all. But I do have a few of these purple sprouting broccolis. So I got about 3 of them. And here's a dead plant, and here's a dead plant, so we don't have to worry about those. And this is supposed to be a purple sprouting broccoli, but y'all, it looks dead too. You see the purples. I got a purple broccoli, a purple cauliflower, a purple cabbage. Y'all, we're gonna have some fun over here in this bed. And then in addition to all the purples, I got my typical broccolis. I never seem to grow enough broccoli from year to year, and I started a ton of broccoli. I have my typical blue ribbon, and here's a picture of the blue ribbon. And the heads, the main heads don't get that big, but what I like about it are the side shoots. I get side shoots all season long. I don't have to pull the head out and then replace it because I have enough space in my garden that I can leave it here and we can enjoy those side shoots all season. All season. And typically they last all season because of the location that I decide to put them in. The other one that I'm going to do is blue ribbon. And here's a picture of it. They're very similar. One gets a little taller than the other, but the thing that I like about the blue ribbon is that it's just like the other one, side shoots. I can harvest off it all season long. Smaller main head in the beginning versus a big massive head, but I don't have to pull the plant out. I can live off of those side shoots. And I can do that with that purple sprouting broccoli as well. And so that's the plan for today. Now, I keep talking about how I can grow broccoli all season long. So even when it's, 90 degrees outside, I typically, my broccoli don't go to seed, right? They'll try to flower. I just keep cutting them back. And then in the fall, they wake back up and they continue to produce. I always leave my broccoli in all season long. In order to do that, there's some very key things that I do in my garden to make that happen. And one of those key things that I do is strategically place them in the garden. So that's east over there. So that's where that morning sun is. And my brassicas love the morning sun, just to see the leaves, with those little drops of water on it. I mean, just absolutely beautiful in the morning sun. About midday, the sun gets right here. They get that good dose of sunlight that they need to be happy and healthy. And then as the sun continues over that way, that's the west. That's where that hot, unbearable evening sun is. And that's the part of the sun that my young broccoli and even my mature broccoli doesn't like too well. But in this spot right here, it's going to be blocked by trees and trellises and everything else. So usually by 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, this bed will be shaded so that it's protected from that really harsh sun, at least in 6B. I can't tell you how that works everywhere else, but this has typically worked for me in my garden. Now that we've talked about where we're going to put it, we talked about what we got. Now we got to talk about this bed that we're going to put it in. This bed was relocated from the main garden area when we upgraded the main garden area, and we relocated it here. We brought all the soil over with it. So this is soil from the original bed when it was over in the main garden area. So everything about this bed is pretty much the way it was last year. A couple of the differences is that it needs a little soil. The soil has dropped, and we're going to put some in here. And when we were doing the redesign, y'all, I took some soil from a bed and from fire rings that has strawberries growing in them. And those strawberries are here. They're in the bed, y'all. Look at that. That's a strawberry coming up right there. There's another one over there. Here's a dead strawberry. So I know there's a few strawberries growing in this bed. And y'all, my goal is to try to grow around them. So the strawberries will be in here mixed in between with the brassicas. And that's just what we're going to do. I want to save as many strawberries as I can. I might transplant them somewhere else later, but for now, I'm going to let them live and stay right here. And there's some more over there and some coming up. As long as they're happy, I'm going to let them be happy. So the first thing we need to do for this bed here is add some more soil. So all of this soil right here, everything you see right here, all of this is Happy Frog. And before I got into using Happy Frog, this would have been Miracle Grow or Pro Mix. That's all this is. This is all potting soil that's built up over the years. So it's not topsoil. It's not raised bed soil. And that is a dead strawberry. It's some type of potting mix. We're going to add to that potting mix today. Happy Frog's here waiting. Once I get the Happy Frog in, I'm going to add some fertilizer, just a general fertilizer. Every time I start my garden in the beginning of the season, I add a general fertilizer to kind of help round out the nutrition for the particular bed. And then I don't add any more granular fertilizer until about mid-season, and then maybe again late in the year. So once I put this granular fertilizer in, y'all, that's it. That'll be all the granular fertilizer it's going to see for many months. So let me get started, getting the Happy Frog in, getting the fertilizer in, and then we'll bring it back and we'll figure out how we want to design this bed, because this is going to be garden art, y'all. Garden art. We got the purples, and then we got the greens, and we got many different things, but we need to make it pretty too. Well, it looks like this bag could use a little bit more, but it only gets one bag. He's going to have to share with everybody else. And that's the only allotment I have for this bed. One bag, and one bag is all. But we are 11 inches above the ground, y'all. That's more than enough depth to grow the items that I'm trying to grow today. And there's a little strawberry, and there's another one over here somewhere. It'll peek its head out and find its way to the top again. All right, the bed's in. Everything looks good. Soil is in. Now we got to decide on design. I'm going to roughly use the square foot garden method. So this bed is about 2 feet wide, and I think this one is 6 feet long. I think it's about 6 feet long. So I can put 12 different brassica plants in here because I can put 1 per square foot of brassica plants. So you can see these wanted to be out of that space, y'all. I don't know if you can see it, but they are getting root bound. It's just wrapping around there. So they want it out. I'm going to oblige, and I'm going to split them in half. And y'all, I'm going to plant them a little thick. I'm just going to be honest with you. I normally do. You're not supposed to, but I am. But if I think about putting one broccoli right on the edge and then still having the middle space and putting the other one right on the edge, I can go 3 deep instead of 2 deep. If I go 2 deep, I go in the center here and go in the center there, and that's all I get. But if I go on the edge, which has got plenty of room for its roots to grow on the edge, in the middle, and then on the edge again, I still have at least 6, if not 8 inches of space between the plants. Not on the edge side, but in between the plants. So that's what we're going for today. Now, I forgot what I threw over there. I talked too much, y'all. What did I throw over there? Just break it right in half. There's my 3. And then guess what, y'all? I'm going to go with greens. And then after the greens, y'all, I'm going to go with something purple. And that's going to be these purple sprouting broccolis. And then after the purple sprouting broccoli, guess what, y'all? I'm going to come back with some blue ribbon. And I need 3. There's blue ribbon. Boom, 3 right there. And then I need something purple again. So what we coming back with purple, y'all? The purple of Sicily cauliflower. We'll do that next. And then I need something green again, y'all. And I got lots of blue ribbon, so we're going for blue ribbon. That's what we're going to do. And then I got enough for 2 more rows. What am I going to put here? I'm going to put the cabbage, the purple cabbage. And then I got that little corner over there, y'all. For that little corner over there, I'm going to have to keep going with the purple because I got this one very pitifully looking red Burgundy Brussels sprout. But you know what? That Brussels sprout's going to get big and it's going to start falling all over. But that's okay. It's going to be okay right there. I'm going to put it right there. I got room for 2 things though. And we'll put another premium crop with it. We'll put the premium crop right there in the front. There we go. Now we got a plan. Premium crops on the end. And then you come in to purple sprouting, blue ribbon, purple of Sicily, blue ribbon, and then this purple cabbage. That's the plan, y'all. That's the plan. Let's get it in the ground. To get it in the ground, y'all, I'm going to use some mycos. That's what I need to tell you. That's the part I didn't tell you anyway. Mycos, I will always put underneath all of my transplants. I've been doing it for years. And I just happened to be online and this was on sale, y'all. So I picked it up. I didn't need it. I'm not out. But when this stuff goes on sale, I like to pick it up. It's called mycos. Somebody told me it does nothing for your brassicas. What I do know is it doesn't hurt the brassicas, so I'm putting it in here anyway. So we talked about putting one in this back corner here. I like to put my mycos in the hole. You got to loosen up all of those wrapped around roots, and it's in there. And then I'm going to bring this one over here, kind of stagger it just a little bit. That's also going to help with the spacing holistically. Put it over here. I think I'm going to stagger the whole thing. I think that's the way I want to go. Put my little tag in here. Now, and y'all, remember, there's strawberries under here somewhere. They'll make their way to the surface. And then I need to start doing the sprouting broccoli. And I'm going to do the same thing, right? I'm going to do the same thing. It's going to be staggered just a little bit, just like that. And I'm going to do that for the rest of these. So I'm going to get to it, and I will bring you back when I get done doing this step so you can see how the bed came out. Anytime you see it's root bound like this, you need to kind of disturb those roots to encourage them to grow in a different manner. So I just like to ruffle the feathers just a little bit, and then I just keep right on moving. Oh, the one thing I didn't talk about that I did do, I just didn't talk about it, was that I updated my garden journal. So where I grew all of these brassicas, I added it to the garden journal. And then I went over and said that I was putting it in this bed on today's date. So we'll be able to track how it's doing, how long it's been in the bed, that kind of stuff. And I'm doing it for all of the different flavors of brassicas that I have here. Y'all, we got it in here. The bed is full. There are 19 plants in this teeny little space using the square foot garden method. The theory behind this is that the plants are growing close enough that you don't have to worry about a lot of weeds and that kind of stuff coming up because they're nice and close together, but they're far enough apart so they have room to grow. Now you need to be conscious of what varieties of different vegetables you're growing. So if I had a massive cabbage that gets 25 pounds, then I probably can't use one square for that process. But y'all, this bed is done. It's got new soil. It's got new fertilizer. I took them out of those itty bitty little homes. They're in the ground and they're spreading their little legs. They're ready to grow up and become mature plants. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing to the channel because we're outside now, y'all. We're going to be getting this outside garden put in place. So until next time, and I hope there'll be a next time that you choose to hang out at Kim's Cozy Corner with me. Talk to you again real soon. Bye.